Arena today. It's the Alabama Crimson Tide against the Samford Bulldogs. This is Roger Hoover alongside Bryan Passing and Tom Stipe with you from Legacy Arena. And it's time to take a look at Who's Healthy Now, presented by ATI Physical Therapy. ATI Physical Therapy is a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Built by Bama, rebuilt by ATI. Visit ATIPT.com/Bama for new office locations near you. The Alabama basketball team continues getting healthier as we get deeper into the season, and that includes the radio team, as we are proud to welcome back to the airwaves Chris Stewart for the first time this season. Welcome, Chris.
Let me just tell you, that right there is why I've been in no rush to get back, because you're outstanding.
Thank you.
That is terrific. Thank you to you and to everybody that has reached out in so many different ways. But it is nice to feel normal. It is great to be back with my friends, albeit for just a couple of minutes, because I ain't staying long. I'm a fan tonight. For the first time in 19 years, I'm just a fan at an Alabama basketball game. And thanks to Jimmy, too. I got good seats, too, tonight. But you've all been great. You, first of all, have been so good on these broadcasts that I haven't given a second thought of anything other than getting well. There's been no rush on my part to get back and grab the mic, because you've done an outstanding job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tom Stipe has been a great friend for a long, long time, continues to be, checked on me numerous times, came to see me. And this guy right here that we give more grief to than anybody else in Bryan Passing. Numerous milkshakes. And since they are the sponsor of this game tonight, Chick-fil-A on multiple occasions when I was in the hospital for 3 months. But, randomly show up at 9 o'clock at night to hang out and watch TV with me. At times when I was low, it was awfully lonely, and it was a grind. But this guy has not only been a radio partner for the better part of the last 18 years, he has been a great friend, as you all have, and I cannot thank you guys enough.
Well, Chris, it is absolutely awesome to have you back and be sitting courtside like we've done for almost a couple of decades now together. And, those nights in the hospital and days visiting you, those were special times. And, we talked a lot about this moment, being back courtside. And even though you're not going to call the game today, and I agree with you, Roger has been incredible, and glad that it allows you to focus on what is most important, and that's getting healthy. And it's so good to see you doing so well. And the recovery you've made has not been an accident. And, I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I've seen it from the beginning and seen the work that you put in. I know you've been, as you mentioned, so appreciative of your family and friends and all the prayers of the Alabama nation. But, it also took a ton of hard work. And what you've been through has not been easy. That's probably the biggest understatement I can make. But the work you've had to put in has put you in this position to be sitting here courtside and sounding so good and looking so good. And I know I speak on behalf of Alabama fans. We're so excited that you are doing so well and you're back. Can't wait to hear you, in a more permanent role on the radio, but it is awesome to have you. So just talk about the journey that you've been on over the last 3 months.
91 days is a long time, especially when you're talking about days in a hospital. And I was actually in 2 different hospital facilities. It started off at Brookwood Baptist, where I got great care. And for those that don't know, I had open heart surgery, had bypass surgery that was very successful. But a week later, I developed, after I was home, a week and a half later, I guess, I developed an infection. I had about everything you could have from what I'm told, because I was out during most of this time. I learned things every day from my wife on what I actually encountered, but there was pneumonia, there was MRSA, there was, my lungs were in failure, liver, kidneys were struggling. If I had it to go bad, it was going bad. But thankfully, throughout all that, my heart, there was no issue. I'm told that my heart is as strong as it's ever been. And so that's a good starting point. But thankfully, everything else is healed, and I'm dealing with a couple of things right now that are just involve some pain and trying to get my strength back. But it was the toughest journey, the worst thing I've ever gone through, and I also have no hesitation in saying is the greatest blessing, because things I talked about with the three of you guys, but so many others. And frankly, it starts with my wife, who, for those of you who remember, a year and a half ago when I had a stroke, she saved my life. And she has been unbelievable in managing our household, managing our family. You know, I've got, in addition to a daughter who's a freshman now at Alabama, bless her heart, and started Rush at my insistence the day that I underwent the bypass surgery. You know, welcome to college. So she went through all that this semester. Then I've got the 14-year-old son who's been a massive help and maybe as big a protector as I've had. And then the 8-year-old. And the 14-year-old, the 8-year-old are involved in everything, and mom's making sure she takes care of their schedule, taking care of me. So many family and friends that basically rotated, making sure that I was cared for, so that even though she was coming to see me and care for me, she was caring for our boys and making sure their lives were as normal on a day-to-day basis as possible. So to say that I'm grateful for everything is a major understatement.
Well, we are grateful that you're sitting here with us.
Me too.
I'll be honest with you, there were times that we weren't so sure that was going to happen. But
same here.
In the Christmas season, we have our own walking, talking Christmas miracle and the answer to a lot of prayers right here. And we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Going home the day before Thanksgiving gave that new meaning. It was the only reason I wasn't dog cussing all of you for being in the Bahamas, except for you, Stipe, because I know you were.
I was in Lee County, Alabama.
You were in Lee County, Alabama. I had it better. I had open heart surgery. You just had your heart cut out. So anyway,
some things never change.
Right. But it's the only way I could not be jealous of these two being in the Bahamas. It's the fact that I was so glad to be home. But
I wanted to stay closer to you to make sure you were okay.
Yeah, thank you for that. Bahamas, or I should say Thanksgiving, was fantastic, and excited about Christmas as well.
Definitely excited.
Y'all got a game to talk about. Get me out of here so y'all can talk about the game.
Alabama fans want to know, what are your next steps? So what do the next few weeks look like for you?
My next steps are over there to the baseline to kick back and watch this game. And then after that, it's continuing. I'm doing rehab at Spain Rehabilitation. Great. I said I got great care at Brookwood Baptist, and then moved the final 3 weeks of my 91-day stay was at Spain Rehabilitation Center here in Birmingham, and continuing to do outpatient 5 days a week. And we'll do that until I join the boys in Gainesville, Florida for the conference opener there. That's the plan. And I'll be honest, if I'm not feeling well enough and where everything's progressing, I'm moving that direction. But in the event that I'm not going to hesitate to say, hey, Roger, you're going to throw another inning. That's the route we'll go. But right now, the plan's to be back in January.
Well, Roger's not on a pitch count, but
good.
To shorten your answer, you're going to do anything Christy says.
It's exactly
and
right.
Nothing else.
No more, no less. Wise man.
We are so happy to have you here. Thanks for coming by. And I will speak for so many thousands and thousands of Alabama fans to say we are so glad you're here, and we love you.
Love you guys, too. And I appreciate that very much.
Thank you for the kind words you've had, and just being here today means so much to the Alabama basketball family. Just thank you so much. We look forward to hearing you and Bryan and Tom again really soon.
Thanks so much. Y'all have a good time.
That was Chris Stewart. Proud to welcome him back to our airwaves across the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Tonight, it's Alabama against Samford in Birmingham. We'll have more on this contest in a moment. This is the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.